Yo, what up guys, it's me, TCG, and today we're doing my top 5 favourite levels in Geometry Dash. So before we start, remember to subscribe and like, and let's start off with number 5, by Minecraft, by Dimas LV. With Minecraft by Dimas LV, I feel like it is a level that has tons of effort, because it looks very magical, and it's just very calm. Fun fact, the way he actually did this background is that he copy-pasted the background and made it a small bit smaller, and then made it move slower than the front parts, so each back part would be slower, which makes this really nice 3D effect. I also like the way he used the generic stone blocks in the background of this nether scene right here. It really appeals to like the Geometry Dash side of this, so like it's just a lot of move triggers and nostalgia, and I think it's a great level. It's actually interesting with the wither skeletons you saw earlier, because he would have to make them like move to the left, have rotate triggers, then all move at different times, which is more difficult than it sounds. This is a very nice cave system just before like the other parts. It's just a nice little cooldown. And then we've got this nice little space part with a pretty good pixel art of the moon, if I do say so. And there's a chicken, cause why not a chicken? So getting close to the end of the level now. It's very interesting how we use the white blocks with the cloud layering to make it look like real clouds. But that was Minecraft. Next up, we have Ticknor Stew by Stubby Pinata. Due to the fact that this level has solid color shading, it gives it this text style which is very appealing. The gameplay is very great to think, and thanks to the low object count, this can probably be played in the LDMs on mobile, which gives it a very widespread performance on all devices. There is a very nice pulse for all the lines and objects, because it changes 2 different colors, which is very hard to pull off with this type of style. With this boss fight here, it has super fluent movement. While one dragon might be shooting the laser, the other one might be blinking, but since that's not very rare, it's actually very interesting to find in any level. This level also has a very good transitions, because you always see what portal you're going into before you actually have to enter the portal in the first place. This gives you a very good reaction time, making each death seem like more than your fault, which is great, because then you won't blame it on glitches. I like this boss fight for all the eye pulses, the tongue, and the magnetic sword, pretty much anything that goes with it. And then it gives us this nice rainbow staircase to end off the level, which is very well synced. And I think that perfectly tops off Ticknor Stew. Next up, we have Hypersonic. Hypersonic was built by Viprin, Nexus, Manix, and more. With this general song, it is very hard to make good gameplay, because there is a very fast beat per minute. But somehow they managed to top it, and they managed to figure out 2 jumps per each bar, or some type of reoccurring theme for this level. It has very interesting pulses and moving objects. I feel the way the moving objects were moved and like the bounce in and out triggers were used very well in this instance. Also, one of the great things about this level is that from each creator piece to creator piece, it isn't exactly a wall right between them. It's a very well made transition in between the 2 creators, which is a very great thing to have, because with mega collabs, you don't usually get that thing, because creators don't talk to each other, they just build and merge, and that's most of their job. The other thing I love about this level is the duels. Just like this duel here, it is very interesting. Just all the asymmetrical ways that it moves around, yet it's all just controlled by one player. This part here is a very well built memory by Viprin. It's very hard to remember, but once you get it, it makes you look amazingly good at the game. Another interesting asymmetric dual here, with a nice wave afterwards that syncs very well with the music. I like the way that every single object has a meaning, and it's not just something that's on screen for a couple of seconds. And the way that the styles switch in between this last part here is very amazing, because they seem to be built over each other, but then they change all in the end. And to finish it off, we've got a very detailed core style with a bunch of portals just to add the pressure. Then to top it off, we've got an amazing logo to finish it. That was Hypersonic. This next level is why I have 10. Next level is called Against the God. This level was built by 1374. As you can see by the entrance, this is a very artistic level, with very independent shapes, all made by lines, but made it to look like curves. I will not be able to talk through 100% of this level due to the fact that it is around 5 minutes long. But I feel like the art really speaks for itself for the use of layering, because he needs block design, background art, and then all the cities in the back, and he has to layer all of those onto one screen. This part here also uses the same thing as we saw in Minecraft by DimSLV. It used the stone bricks, which makes it more Geometry Dash styled, and I love it. This is by far my favourite part in the level. Just the feeling of you being hunted down by something big is just a very great thing to feel while playing. And the way this thing just looks at you, it's just an insane thing. Oh, and I mean actually looks at you, not your player. Here we've got our first boss fight out of the 2 boss fights, Mandala. Now, I feel like this boss fight was fairly well done, but compared to the second boss fight, it's pretty much nothing. I do feel like the attacks could be more detailed. Instead of just white rims, they might have had some shading like those pillars in the background. But it is a very known style. Here we have the afterwards of the first boss fight. Very nicely coloured with the rays in the background, just making it look like something very realistic. With the great move triggers moving all objects into place, it is a very fluent way to make a level. And here we have the place where it all just slows down for a second. You've escaped the first boss and now you're hiding away somewhere. That's what this is trying to simulate. This is the part before the next boss. It's kind of like a preparation zone to calm you down from what you've done. But then, the next boss comes. Goldwing. I feel this dragon is very detailed in the way that all the prongs on the wings, whatever you wish to call them, all move in separate directions. It has very extraordinary attack patterns, such as that hand laser you saw just now. It has many move objects, but has a very high object rate, which just proves to show how much detail this dragon has in it. I call this the best boss fight in the game, and you can probably understand why, I imagine. It's very synced with the music too, which you find with most boss battles, but due to the fact that this boss has an elegant song, it is hard to sync, but he proved just that. Against the God. And finally the last spot. The number 1 place goes to Astromium Dimensia, built by Maelstrom and Ryunomi. Astromium Dimensia is a space-themed level. It is very well made, with up to 20 to 30,000 objects per piece. It is very impressive the way that they managed to chuck all this together with the block design still not merging with the background. Now this part here might look very amazing, but it was made with those cloud objects. You'd say, what? That's too detailed, but it really is made with them. Here, in my opinion, is probably the best part. The decorated slopes go very nicely with the background, in my opinion. And this part here is very calm view from another world onto the other two. Then my favourite art is here, Earth. I feel this calm place really sets it up for the next scene. The gameplay, generally, in this level is moderate. But the background makes up for that, so I'll accept it. One of the reasons why this level is number 1 on my list is due to the fact it was made by 2 different creators. I'm not very fond of this part, because I used bushes to decorate the planet, which looks very messy. Like seriously, bushes. Like really, bushes, who uses bushes? But, yeah, I just don't agree with it. This part here though is very well made. Not my favourite, but very well, because the yellow and orange blending doesn't seem to mix in with the background of the sun, which is hard to do with yellow. Then we have the drop, which is by far one of the coolest drops in all the 5 levels that I've showed you, purely because of the pulses of making the blocks white and the gameplay. I'm not sure for positively sure, for positive sureless, but I'm pretty sure this is one of the biggest arts in Geometry Dash. Astromium Dimensia. Well, thanks for watching guys, I'll see you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and have a great day. I wish you luck.